All right, so today I'm going to be sharing my card of the day just because I've been noticing cycles with this deck. So I'm working with my one of my favorite, which is the Hoodoo Tarot. So today I pulled the Father of Baskets, and I pulled this card, I want to say maybe a week or two ago. Um, but it's interesting because I pulled a card during the new moon, and then I pulled that same card during the full moon. And it was like a cycle of completion. It was the Devil card, I believe, or Miss Robinson in this deck. So this is the Father of Baskets. And when I pulled this card the other week, it was all about how we can look to our past as a reminder that there's nothing to fear. I pulled this like along with the moon card, right? And so, like, you can't see his face, but he's sitting there. It looks like on the edge of a boat. And above him, there's like some fish strung up. And the look on his face is he's looking back at the past, right? Because he's facing the direction to the left. So, what I got from this is, excuse me, like the first thing that came up in my mind was yeah, like that's what happened. And it's a reminder to me that, my feelings are real and they are valid. How many times do we feel something and then we try to talk ourselves out of feeling it, like, oh, maybe that's not what it is, or maybe I'm being too emotional or not being understanding enough, or whatever the case may be, right? We try to kind of like explain our feelings away instead of allowing us to feel them. And for me, I feel like this is confirmation to follow through on what my feelings are telling me, what my intuition is telling me, and to really trust in that. And also, because he is looking back at the past, like think about times where, things have come up, or I felt something and maybe did not act on it, or did not stand in my power around that situation. So I feel like that is the guidance that I am receiving today, which is very beautiful. So yeah, that's my card of the day, Father of Baskets, from the beautiful, beautiful Hoodoo Tarot deck that I love so much. I actually have 2 copies of this deck, and I wrote about it on my blog over at Spiritual Love Tarot, because so the first deck that I purchased was very clear, like this was like a personal deck, and to work with it in that way. So that's what I did, and most of my decks are in storage. So I thought that deck was in storage because I could not locate it. And I saw that Abundant Life Tarot was doing a hoodoo study, and I really loved that deck. I wanted to participate, and I was like, man, I had been on the fence. Like, I wanted to buy a second copy, but then I was like, do I need a second copy? So then I went ahead and purchased the second copy. So I've been working with that, and then I come across the original copy. So I call them my friends and family edition. So my original Hoodoo Tarot deck is very much for ancestral work. It's that deck is very special. And this one, because I was like, oh, they need names. And it was like friends and family. I was like, okay. And this one is okay with me, like sharing it and posting it. And now I feel like because I have 2 copies, I want to try to edge one of the decks. Because I think it would be very pretty with maybe some sepia or maybe even black edging around it. So I have not modified a deck yet, but I think this might be the one that I actually like cut my creative teeth on. Also, I have a new Oracle deck, Liquid Crystal Oracle, and I love it. The deck, or I can't even get my thoughts out today. The deck interview spread that I did with it was very, very telling and very powerful. One of my first decks was a crystal deck. It was the Crystal Ally cards, and I love that deck to this day. I've had it, gosh, over 10 years for sure. But I love taking a break away from my cards because when I pull in like different oracles, especially crystals, for some reason I have a very strong affinity with crystals. It's just a reminder to me of how my intuition works and the beautiful benefits and power of like intuition and just divination as a whole, because a lot of the information that came up in the cards are things that I've either been thinking, things that have been shown to me. Like one of the cards that came up was for like my guide was Jade, and that's all about dream work. And I've been having some super potent and powerful dreams lately. So yeah, I'm very excited to work with this deck. It is a very profound deck. Um, One of the readers that I go to use this deck a lot for me, and the last reading I got, I was like, let me get the deck. So I looked it up and found it, and it's very beautiful and it resonates with me so deeply. So the card I pulled from that deck today is Black Onyx, which is all about grounded self-awareness. And again, like this kind of ties back into the Father of Baskets as well, because when we are self-aware, we know when how to navigate our emotions rather than having our emotions control us. One of the things about the Father of Baskets or the King of Cups is emotional balance, emotional stability. And this actually is a crystal that's used to bring balance, especially in men. It helps them to balance their masculine and divine feminine energies as well. We know it's also a very grounding stone because it's a black crystal. Black onyx is very grounding, and it helps you to be in the present moment, where I think it's very beautiful also because I've been detaching from certain things. And sometimes we think we're fully present and we're not, especially like as an air sign, I can just be scattered about. So to really pull my energy back into myself, allow myself to feel what I'm feeling, and use those intuitive signals, that energy in motion, to help me make decisions and choices that are in alignment with who and what I need to be. I love these figures that appear back here because sometimes they remind me of like butterflies or dragonflies. This one I do feel a little bit of the dragonfly energy, or sometimes it's like moths or a bird. And usually when I go down to the river, I do see like a black dragonfly. And also like there's a blue one that usually greets me when I go. So those are always good omens for me. So seeing that here is very beautiful. And I do know that I want to work with this energy a little bit more. So I'm going to be keeping this card out for a while to really meditate on it, to integrate its energy. And it's interesting because I also pulled this when my friend Afua, who just released a new song called Yeah, I'm a Goddess. It is available everywhere that you listen to music. Apple Music, Spotify, all the places. Go check it out. It's beautiful. I pulled this card for as well because on her Monday Shine session, she was asking like, what do you need to release? And there was something else in here. Okay, yeah, so it talks about stress and strain. So I'm looking in the guidebook. It says something in the physical world is creating stress and strain. You may have become involved in something that's not your responsibility. You need to have a good look at yourself, your needs, and your physical surroundings. This is a time for strong decisions, and action concerning your physical well-being and happiness. Decisions of the nature you must make are often best made in solitude outside of the influence of others. And the affirmation is, I have all I need. I create my world. I am free. So going back to the Father of Baskets and feeling all the feels and just looking back at things that have happened, whether recently or in the past, that have upset you or me or whatever in some kind of way emotionally. What do we do? Like we normally are like, oh my gosh, we run to like our friends. It's like, hey, what do you think about this? Or talk to whoever. And it's like, hey, no, the things that I'm experiencing right now, like I have been very quiet about and very like much inwards, because I do realize we also, the things that we feel, the things that we are experiencing in this realm are of our creation. So being very mindful of what I want, and I'm realizing that things are aligning in a way to get me there, just not in the like rainbow and sunshiny way that I thought they would. So this is very much about examining my emotions, being grounded, and making a choice that is a right for me. And I'm very excited and nervous and all of the things, but that's what it is. And I thought this was beautiful how these two like really played well together in the reading. And I love like how he's even like looking at it, like going within for guidance rather than looking without, and being aware of like the different stresses and the different energies affecting me at this time, and being able to tap into myself, relying on my knowledge and my wisdom, my inner guidance to choose what's best for me. Because often, like, especially when there's something big and life changing, everybody's like, oh no, you don't need to do that. You got to have a plan, or you know what? Or they just add even more stress on top of it. So I've learned to like not share certain things. And it's not because I don't need support or want to talk about it. It's just I know that people see things differently, and they're not going to be able to give me the space that I'm looking for to express what I'm trying to express without adding on their stuff on top of it. So yeah, so I'm very excited. This is a time to really be aware and present, and to be rooted and aware of what you're feeling. This is all about self-awareness, being grounded in who you are and what's right for you, so that you can make the right choices and not be worried about the things that are happening around you. So that is my reading for the day. I hope that maybe you were able to get something out of it as well. But yeah, I look forward to working with this energy even more, and really just tuning in. And I will be also doing some root chakra work and working with this crystal in meditation too. So that is it, my friends. Maybe I'll show you more of this deck. I think there's 77 cards in it. I love the back of the cards. They are so beautiful. So beautiful. And my favorite thing about crystal cards is that it allows you to also do healing work with them. So I can use these to create grids. I even think the creator of this deck has like some crystal elixirs and things like that. So I could even make some crystal elixirs and take them for various things. Of course, making sure that they're being made safely, because not all crystals are okay to put in water. And there are different ways of like making crystal elixirs and things like that, so that are safe and effective. And I am all about that crystal magic. Okay, so that is it. I hope you have a beautiful day. Oh, so another thing I forgot to mention. So my calendar is now open. So I am booking for readings, healing sessions, coaching calls. I'm going to put the link in the description, or you can find the link in my bio to book a session with me. So yeah, I have tarot and oracle card readings, Reiki healing sessions, money Reiki, angelic heart healing, lots of different ways to support you on an energetic, on a spiritual, personal level. So check that out. I'm very excited to start working with clients again, and even more excited to be reopening my physical office healing space soon. So be on the lookout for that as well. Mwah. Bye.